Hello, hello, hello. It's Komedi Anne here, and I'm going to read to you a draft of my poem that I've been working on. It's March 2018. I'm here at the office, which is very close to Nine Muses. And I printed it out. I typed and printed. This is version 2. This is not going to be the picture that goes with it, but I just put it here as a placeholder because it was also vertical. And it's a poem that I'm working on called Score. And at first I'm going to read to you the topic in the creative writing class that I took at Nine Muses was called People That Put You in a Box. And that was suggested by one of the members who is in the class. And all right, I just got a text from my landlord. He's telling me to pick up the cat food in the back porch for Kelly's cat shelter. So the title of this piece is called Score. And this is the second video where I'm reading it out loud. I've added some things to it from the original version, which is here. I originally hand wrote it, and then this is version 2 where I typed it out after listening to the video where I read it aloud in the workshop. And so first thing I'm going to do is, what came to my mind was this song that I had written in Deerfield Beach in the stairway, leaving the gym. And I had named it, it was called Able. And here's just a little sample. I'm going to look in YouTube to see if it's in YouTube. And my phone died when I was rehearsing it. So I remember rehearsing it. It wasn't really a rehearsal. It was more of like a songwriting session in the hallway. My phone died, and I was like, that's it. That's beautiful. It's perfect. But my phone was dead. So I was like, I'm going to have to come back to that. And then, of course, I got busy. And I haven't really had time to finish developing that song. And it's really beautiful. So this is the first time I'm singing it on rehearsal, or just as this is just like a voice memo or a reference. And it's sort of like, this is the melody, but the hook at the end, I can't quite off the top of my head remember the melody because I didn't have a proper cue in for it. But I did my vocal warm-up and dance practice this morning, and then for about an hour, and while I was in the shower, I remembered a little piece of the song, which in the workshop, under the gun, because it's an hour workshop, and the first topic, and then we write for 5 minutes, and then we each read aloud, and then the next topic, and then we write for 5 minutes, and then we read aloud. So I knew I'd have to present something, and I knew that I didn't have I usually write a piece. Of course, it's like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, or 20 minutes, but really I spend about 3 hours developing a piece. I take my leisurely time. It's something I do relaxing. After about the 3 hours of edits, I kind of feel like it's pretty much as done as it's going to be, and I might be venturing into overkill. And so I usually just kind of say, sometimes less is more and sometimes more is more. So it's sort of like, it's nice to see the evolution between the first draft, the initial idea, and then how it grows and transforms and is developed, and then what it becomes and what it is that I decide to share and how I decide to share it. And so there's all these like layers to this cake of visual art or performance art or spoken word or whatever you want to call it. When I was a kid, I did want to be a writer and I did want to be a teacher. And I always loved dance. And of course, who doesn't love music? I mean, music just fills up this space in our lives like nothing else can. It just feels so good, and it's therapeutic and beautiful. I do like silence, everything in moderation. I don't obsess about music. So I have a healthy relationship with music. So I'm going to sing for you a little piece of Able, which is not probably the final version. It's just a little sample of what's to come. But it's basically it's sort of like, I'm unforgettable, I'm unstoppable. There's nothing you can say to tear me down now. I am spiritual. I'm able. Now, the ending of the song is I am able, which doesn't sound like that. It's going to sound something more of like, I am able. I don't know where the riffs are. I don't know if it's descending, ascending. I just know that it's statement worthy. I'd have to find it in my video. I'm so sorry. So, I'm unstoppable, I'm unforgettable. There's nothing you can say to tear me down now. And so basically it's a protest against the verbal abuse that I endured growing up. And this is sort of like an anthem for self-esteem of like, I'm able, I am capable, I'm strong. It's my comeback song, it's my fight song, it's my champion song. I love this song. And so when they said people that put you into a box, I immediately thought of this piece I was working on that I hadn't had time to work on. And I was so excited to like bring this topic back. And I'm going to read to you the first draft of what I have again. As I wrote it, handwritten, one shot. No edits, straight through. This is what I wrote. I'm not inadequate. I'm not your label. I'm not your grade assigned to me. I'm not your stigma. I'm not a victim of the system. I'm not a color, a shape, a metric. I'm not front desk material. I'm not insubordinate. I'm not any of those things. I'm not the poor character you project onto me. I'm the voice that comforts animals in the night. These feet, I stand up for peace, justice, and what's right. I'm the hands that hold loved ones tight. For those that need, I'm generous with my time. I'm the person whose gestures invites others to go ahead in the line. These eyes catch divine light. I'm not a good-looking woman. I'm a woman who looks for good things. Okay, so then I typed that out again. Here's my sheet. And it's probably double the length. I added a few things to it. I retitled it Score, like keeping score or credit score, or is she 1 through 10? Is she, our SAT score, our self-esteem, how we measure our worth, how we measure our productivity. Do we have many likes and shares and copies we've sold? And I have this ongoing protest against metricizing humanity. And I love all things definitive and concrete and tangible. But you have to understand the spirit is a mystery. We can't quantify our value in life. We try, but and I'm not saying that these things are absolute and set in stone. I mean, to be honest with you, I like all of those things. This is just more of like an emotional reaction to I have a bit of a rebellious streak, a little bit of defiance. And so this sort of like, it's not really literal is what I'm saying. Is like, yes, we are a credit score, and yes, we are a social security number, and we are an address, and we do take a number and stand in line, and we do measure ourselves in our body weight and our size. And yes, they call us by our race and how we appear. And I don't like those labels. I think they're inadequate. And that's why I probably opened with, I'm not inadequate. And so I'm going to restructure this to a little bit more appropriately of like how I would on a second edit. So when I first wrote it, I skipped lines, which is, I'm very glad that I did that on the lined paper, just regular notebook paper that you get in school with a 3-hole punch or whatever, and a pen. And I'm glad I did that because then I was able to add in lines as I went. So technically what I just read to you wasn't really one edit. It was the second edit because there were spaces in there that I added to. So I've retabulated sections to this poem. And so it's called Score. Dear people of the world, that's my intro. Please stop defining me with your labels. Dear teachers and professors, I'm not your grade assigned to me. I'm not a word count. Dear companies and corporations, I'm not a review on a 5-point system. I'm not a consumer profile. Dear governments, I'm not a color, nor am I on a spectrum. I'm not a victim of the system or society. I'm not a date in time or a swipe on a card. Dear men, I'm not a dime piece nor number. I'm not a metric, a score, or on a scale. I'm not a shape you can dress me in. Dear employers, bosses, managers, trainers, I'm not front desk material, neither am I insubordinate. I'm not inadequate. I'm not externally motivated. I'm not any of those things. I'm not the characters you project onto me. You see, I'm not your stigma. I'm the voice that comforts animals in the night. These feet, I stand up for justice and what's right. I'm the hands that hold loved ones tight. For those that need, I'm generous with my time. I'm the person whose gestures invites others to go ahead in the line. These eyes catch divine light. This heart is peaceful. I am compassion, I am empathy, I am zen. I am not a good-looking woman. I'm a woman who looks for good things. I just am. So while I was reading this, it was going through my head to maybe add energy, the word energy in there. And I had already previously decided there was something about traffic, about letting others go ahead, about slowing down to let people pass. There was something about that kind of like gracefulness of like the chaotic hecticness of standing in line. And, you know, there's just a little bit more that I want. And then the picture is going to be the hearts picture, because I really felt like it was like pelvic bones and hearts. And it was sort of like layered with all these like noise and images, and it was traffic. And this particular picture is too ambient and doesn't really reflect what I'm going for. But the header is just as a worksheet to give the lady to ask her which version she wants to put on her website. But and then this sheet is just for the song that I'll be developing. So I'm going to be organizing all of my essays and writings and poems and songs. I've got at least 50 to 100 of them, closer to 100, in a binder. So I brought over a binder today. Let me see if I can grab it out of my book bag really quick. I've got a file box here. This one is a little oversized, but I picked up a binder of clearance. I've got a 3-hole punch here, and it comes, and then it's so cute. It's got like this like pen tray or pencil tray. So this is sort of like my working art folder for this month. And it doesn't have pockets, so everything has to be 3-ring binded. So I'm going to get organized with that, and I'm going to keep typing today because I'm all alone here at the office, and it's peaceful, it's quiet, it's a beautiful day, and I'm going to be here for a few more hours. So, you know, this is how I work. You know, this is where I work, and I work anywhere. I can write a song anywhere, anytime, any place. I don't have to be inspired by anything. I could be in a home improvement store, I could be in an art class, but it's really nice to go to a creativity cafe or like an art school where there's other performers, where there's structure. I mean, the woman, that broad topic, it was really nice to take a creative writing workshop that was, you know, it's an every week thing, but the professor was really, well, she's not really a professor, I don't know what she is, mentor, coach, whatever. She was really cool. We stayed and chatted afterwards. She showed me this photo editing program called GIMP, and so I actually installed it, and it was I'm glad I went. I didn't know what to expect. I just jumped in. I just happened to be in the area, and I just jumped into class, and I got score out of it. Now, when I'm in writing session, I write about 2 pieces per week, but then I take weeks off because it's you got to do post-production, you know, which is like the typing, the editing, the performance, rehearsal. I did a rehearsal today, not with these lyrics, but I did it of facial delivery style, you know, like directing my focus. So last semester I took speech and psychology, and so I can definitely see that influencing my work, and I'm gonna actually retake those classes. And so I gotta go because my phone is like zipping. There's people calling in I need to respond to. I'll be back. Thank you for coming and spending the day with me on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you are on social media. Won't be Instagram because this is 15 minutes long. So I'm wearing a sundress that my roommate traded with me. I gave her some articles of clothing, like a skirt and a couple really pretty bras and a gorgeous shirt, like the tie-dye with crystals on it. And she gave me a skirt and this little sundress and another sundress and probably a couple of them. We've just been swapping clothes because it's fun to do. She gave me some jean shorts and I gave her a pair of sneakers, but then we ended up giving it to our other roommate, so it worked out. And I gave her a couple of sports bras and a gym bag. I gave her like a backpack for college that she's using at the gym, and it's fun. It's fun to have girlfriends and roommates and stuff. And so I like it because it covers my butt. So, I probably on my next video, I'm going to do a standing delivery just because it's more fun to like get into it and make it more performance and like step into it and sway into it. I really feel like it should be delivered as a standing piece because, if you've ever had to confront someone, most arguments we're standing and yelling at someone. We're not really always, unless you're like laying down on your phone arguing. But so I don't feel like this is done. That's what I can say. I feel that I want to pour over it and dwell on it. And I don't think it's OCD. I think it's just my method. It doesn't have to be, some people would say, oh, short and sweet, get it in, and they don't really overthink it. But to me, I want it to be accurate. And so I want it to be structured and accurate. And I don't know. I know one thing is I do want it to fit on one page. So it's not going to go on and on and on. And I'd like it to be delivered in 3 minutes or less, maybe like the 2 to 3 minute. I'll have to read it straight through and kind of time it out and see where I'm at. But, as long as, I think anybody gets the point. And I think I'd like to add a little bit more to the end. Because it like rhymes and has like a very poetic. I think that it's a contrast between staccato and legato. I'm not quantitative, I'm qualitative. And so that's the rhythmic structure between I'm not this that you hammer into me. My contribution has to be measured in not just in values, but in my actions and my decisions and my choices and my elegance and grace. And do we have a way to measure love? And do we have a way to measure laughter? Do we have these tongues speak words that would look beautiful as a tattoo imprinted on your skin for everyone to read. It's more of like, I'm not the weight on the scale. I'm a rainbow. I'm not a color. I'm a rainbow. I like the concept of a spectrum. So I don't know if I'm going to say I'm not a spectrum. I don't know. I'm tired a little bit. I'm sore a little bit. And one of my other roommates lashed out at me today and I went off on her and I just said, I'm tired of this every week moodiness thing. So I'm maybe a little bit, I was in really good spirits this morning, but maybe I'm just tired because I was woken up many times last night. Like one of the neighbors called an ambulance and then the dog was barking and then I think the paramedics knocked on our door because it's like a complex. They didn't know which door to knock on. And then there were other things that woke me up, like the cat meowed outside the window and I, just kept waking up. And it was one of those nights where I'd like wake up, turn the pillow, go back to sleep. It was a little cold last night. So I think I just need to do something to make me happy and relax. I'll probably listen to music or maybe I'll take a nap or maybe I'll keep writing and printing some pictures. I've got some beautiful printer paper that I found here in the office and I'm going to try to print. This is actually this is the second one of my photographs I've ever printed, but I don't want to run out all the ink in that printer. It's very expensive. So I need to be more selective of which pictures I print. So I'm gonna go home in a couple hours and I'm gonna cuddle with the cats, and I'll be all right. You know, I'm a happy person and just have a lot going on. And I mean, I could just not work on art and like apply for a job online. But you know, I'm an artist, so any opportunity I have to create artwork, I indulge in the time and I make it a priority. But you know, this poem I'm gonna press, I guess I'm gonna print on like color gloss photo paper, and I'm gonna try to sell it for like I don't know, $5, $10, $15, $20, $25, whatever I can get. And maybe somebody will want to buy it as a postcard or mail it in a letter or something, or hang it on their therapy center, or just, I have no idea. Or just share it in their blog, you know, just, I don't know. I'm tired, you know. And you try to monetize your artwork, you know, because that way I can create more. So, you know, maybe it'll be on Etsy, or maybe it'll be poster size, or I don't know. But when it's finished, when I really feel like, okay, this is a masterpiece, this is a work of art, because it's also structured. I don't think I should ignore I think it's important to mention that there was a song that Gloria Estefan did on an album, Steal Your Heart. I think maybe it's called Destiny was the album, but it's "So steal your heart and set it free." I changed the lyrics. "So free, I'm sure our love will astound you. All my love you'll always be. Many ways I'll always find you. I don't wanna be the da da dee da 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 ba da dee da 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 da. Always desire to find myself inside the mirror of your eyes. Be the only bomb that soothes the secret passions in our life. Only want to breathe your essence, create your comfort, and fill love with laughter. Each and every moment that we've lived, from this day on, forever after. I'll steal your heart and set it free. Okay, you know, so "Steal Your Heart" was a Spanish ballad that's, I don't want to be this, I want to be that. I don't want to be this, I want to be that. And so when I rewrote it as a cover song, I think, I want to say 2002, 2003, I had a little home computer. I went home, I typed it all out, and I got to do it again because I'm sure I lost it. And so that was the first cover song I did, artist rendition. I just thought it was a beautiful song, and I thought I could improve upon it. That very, very rarely, extremely rarely do I ever feel as an artist, as a singer, as a writer, that I can really add something to the original. And I felt like by turning it all into a positive, instead of "I don't want to be this," into just a pure positive mantra, and I was able to do that. So this is sort of like influenced by, I don't want to be that because I'm this. I don't want to be that, I want to be this. And so this is the sort of like redefining ourselves, and, you know, we can become anything we want to be. Am I ever going to be a Black girl? No. I'm never going to be an African-American woman. Am I? I don't know. No. I mean, I don't know. I'll take a DNA test. But I'm just saying, I mean, people look at me and they say, "Oh, white girl." And I wrote a piece about that. I think it was called Rainbow Splatter. And like 150 people saw it, or more than that. And it was fun, you know? And I just like spoke my mind, and people related to it, and they read it. And so, like, right now, only like a handful, like less than 10 people have heard or seen of this little poem that I'm working on. It's just a piece, you know? Artists, we write pieces. And the beautiful thing is that I have photography to go with it. That's what's so exciting, is I can actually publish a book of my poems with my photography, which is called Visual Intoxication. And I didn't think I was going to add my poetry into the book, but I don't see how I cannot, because the lady said, "I'm a very strong writer," which I thought was sweet of her. And my previous teachers would say things like I was too wordy. And so when you love to write and you love to read,